What if we could see beyond our reality? Imagine a device capable of capturing images of beings that inhabit parallel dimensions, entities that have always been around us but remain invisible to our eyes. Scientists are on the verge of revealing a hidden universe where multiple realities coexist. These new discoveries could transform our understanding of physics, existence, and the very nature of reality. For many, the idea of beings in parallel dimensions may seem like science fiction. However, the work of Daniel Nemes compels us to reconsider what we understand as reality. If these beings exist, what does that say about our own existence? Are our perceptions limited by a narrow view of the universe, where only the tangible is accepted as real? Nemes's device, the Energy Vision, forces us to confront these questions, paving the way for a new era of spiritual and scientific exploration. Disclaimer: much of the information about Daniel Nemes seems to have been erased from the internet, and the available sources are very limited. This text is a reflection on what has been disclosed and what might possibly be hidden from the masses. Daniel Nemes made his mark by creating the Energy Vision, designed to capture images of entities that exist in dimensions beyond our visual perception. Imagine that the known universe is just a small part of something much larger. The Energy Vision suggests exactly that. It shows that there are beings sharing the same space as us, but in parallel realities, invisible to the common eye. This idea challenges our understanding and opens doors to a new way of viewing the universe. The device operates simply. It emits energy at a specific frequency and scans the environment for responses, which manifest as images. According to Nemes, these images reveal beings from other dimensions. If there are forms of life or consciousnesses coexisting with us in a parallel reality, this invites us to reconsider what we really know. Nemes expanded the horizons of science by addressing questions that previously seemed confined to esotericism or science fiction. But what if these dimensions truly exist? What if these beings can be studied, understood, and even interacted with? This discovery is not just about technology, it's about opening the mind to new possibilities and accepting that reality might be much more complex than our senses allow us to perceive. This is just the beginning of a journey to understand what else is hidden around us. The foundation of Nemes's work lies at the intersection of quantum physics concepts and speculations about alternative dimensions. He believed that energy, when properly manipulated, could serve as a bridge between our world and these other realms. For him, science and spirituality were not opposites, but two sides of the same coin, both seeking to answer the same fundamental questions about our place in the cosmos. The impact of Nemes's research is that he did not limit himself to theories, but sought to apply them practically. He shows us that knowledge should not be confined to the realm of ideas, but should be tested, experimented with, and, if possible, demonstrated. And by doing so, he invites us to reflect on the possibilities that open up when we allow ourselves to question what once seemed unquestionable. Daniel Nemes's disappearance, shortly after the revelation of the Energy Vision, left many perplexed and raised various theories. Some believe that his invention challenged forces that preferred to keep the parallel realities he claimed to have captured hidden. Nemes's absence created a disturbing silence in the scientific community, divided between skeptics and those fascinated by his discoveries. The fact that nearly all of his work was removed from the internet after his disappearance only fueled speculations about what really happened to him. One of the most debated theories is that Nemes may have been silenced by larger forces, perhaps governmental, who realized the disruptive potential of his discoveries. The idea that multidimensional beings could interact with us challenges everything we understand about physics and reality. Some believe that the knowledge Nemes was about to share was so disturbing that it could have unpredictable consequences for world order, thus justifying his mysterious disappearance. Another perspective suggests that Nemes may have entered a state of paranoia or despair upon realizing the magnitude of his discoveries. Imagining that he was dealing with forces beyond our comprehension could have led to a psychological breakdown. Some speculate that Nemes may have decided to hide or even take his own life to escape the implications of his work. This interpretation attempts to humanize the scientist, portraying him as someone who was consumed by his own discoveries. There are also those who believe that Nemes may have crossed a threshold between dimensions, disappearing not due to human interventions, but because he himself found a way to transition to one of these other realities. This hypothesis takes the discussion to an even more esoteric field, where science meets mysticism, challenging the limits of what is considered possible. Finally, there is the perspective that all of this could be a hoax, an elaborate creation to draw attention to quantum theories and alternative realities. Some critics argue that Nemes's disappearance might be a marketing strategy or a maneuver to avoid deeper criticism and skepticism. This view, though cynical, forces us to consider the possibility that the disappearance is actually a piece in a larger game of information manipulation, where the truth is hidden in layers of mystery and deception. The Energy Vision is the result of years of dedication and intense research by Daniel Nemes. This device was designed to do what once seemed impossible: capture images of entities that inhabit parallel dimensions. It emits a controlled burst of energy in a specific area and uses advanced sensors to scan that region for anomalies in the energy field. The captured images are processed by algorithms that transform these anomalies into visual representations displayed in high resolution. What the Energy Vision offers is not just a glimpse of what lies beyond, but an opportunity to interact with these parallel realities in a way that was previously unimaginable. Imagine being able to see life forms that exist outside the limits of our three-dimensional world. This challenges us to reconsider what we know about the universe and question how these entities might influence our reality. If the device truly works as Nemes claims, we are on the brink of a revolution in how we understand the interconnection between different planes of existence. The idea that there are beings coexisting with us, but in different dimensions, is powerful and transformative. With the Energy Vision, Nemes not only theorizes about these possibilities, but provides a tool to explore them in a concrete way. And this exploration is not just scientific, it touches on deep spiritual questions about the nature of life, consciousness, and the universe. While science seeks to validate these discoveries, the very act of observing these entities leads us to a new understanding of what it means to be alive in a vast and mysterious cosmos. If the Energy Vision is indeed capable of capturing images of multidimensional entities, the implications for science would be profound and revolutionary. Proving the existence of parallel dimensions would not only validate previously speculative theories, but also open new frontiers for physics, cosmology, and even biology. The ability to interact with these entities could bring unprecedented insights into the nature of the universe and life beyond our current understanding. However, with these discoveries come significant ethical questions. How should we treat these entities? Are we prepared to deal with the consequences of interacting with beings from other planes? Nemes's discoveries challenge the limits of what we understand as possible. If these entities exist and communicate with us in some way, we need to rethink our position in the universe and the responsibilities that come with it. Science has always sought answers about the origin and functioning of the cosmos, but the possibility of interacting with beings from other dimensions forces us to consider questions that go beyond scientific observation. How could these interactions affect our reality? What would be the spiritual and philosophical consequences of discovering that we are not alone? These implications lead us to a delicate field where science and ethics intersect. The discovery of other dimensions is not just an intellectual triumph, but also a moral responsibility. Nemes, by presenting this technology, forces us to confront questions about how we use knowledge and the impact it can have, not only on our lives, but on the very structure of reality. As we seek to understand and explore these new frontiers, we must also be aware of the potential repercussions of our actions. Science, at this point, becomes a journey that requires wisdom and caution. Daniel Nemes's work connects to a broader field of scientific and philosophical investigation that has long fascinated humanity: the existence of parallel universes and string theory. These ideas, which once seemed to belong only to the realm of science fiction, are now gaining ground in serious discussions within theoretical physics. The proposition that our universe may be just one of many possible realities not only challenges our traditional understanding, but also expands the boundaries of modern science, opening new possibilities for research and discovery. String theory suggests that what we perceive as fundamental particles are actually vibrations of tiny strings that exist in multiple dimensions. This theory provides a mathematical basis for the existence of other universes or multiverses, each with its own physical laws. Nemes's work with the energy vision can be seen as an attempt to connect these complex theories with empirical observations, seeking a bridge between the abstract and the concrete. If successful, this could revolutionize not only physics, but also how we understand our own existence. Exploring these theoretical foundations leads us to question our own reality. What if what we perceive as the real world is just a small part of a much larger whole? The philosophical implications are profound, as they force us to reconsider our position in the universe and the purpose of our existence. Nemes's work, in attempting to explore these parallel realities, not only challenges the limits of science, but also touches on fundamental spiritual questions about what it means to be human in a vast and possibly infinite cosmos. If this video made sense to you, write in the comments, "It made sense to me." After all, by sharing these reflections together, we broaden our search for understanding and spiritual growth.